It's last call for tonight. Jonathan Vigliotti tells us about a new wave of spirits made for millennials that's shaking up the whiskey business.
Its amber tones and smoky notes have seduced for centuries and given birth to one of the UK's most lucrative industries. In the rolling hills of Scotland, making Scotch whiskey is a work of art. The grains are mashed, fermented, then distilled, and finally aged in wooden casks. It's a 500-year-old spirit protected by law, and drinking it can pack a lot of rules. But in a small London loft, whiskey blender John Glaser is dropping the pretense and adding a new range of flavors.
You know, a lot of people think Scotch whiskey is high-handed. They think there are rules. You have to drink it a certain way.
It is a little scary.
Yeah, it's frightening. There's so many different ones. There's so many different Scotch whiskeys, and how do I choose? And so it is intimidating. When we try to break all that down.
Whisper whiskey, it's being dubbed, mellower and lighter for the millennial palate. The production process borrows from tradition.
About 20% back.
Glaser buys single malts from Scottish distilleries. Like blenders of the past, he then mixes them. But he goes one step further, maturing the blend again in specially crafted casks that add more flavor.
When you're tasting, when you're assessing, some people might roll it around.
You can taste the vanilla.
It's a technique that's won the Michigan expat international praise and Scottish scorn. His innovative casks led to one of his whiskeys being banned by the Scotch Whisky Association, the industry's old guard. The association's Rosemary Gallagher laid down the law.
It has to be made in Scotland from water, yeast and cereals and has to mature for 3 years in oak casks. And that makes sure that people, when they buy Scotch whisky, know exactly what they're getting.
But in 2015, for the first time ever, not a single Scotch appeared in the prestigious Whiskey Bible's top 3 list. A Japanese whiskey ranked #1. In 2016, Scotch was back on the list, but with a lighter caramel vanilla blend.
If you're just doing things the way you always have, eventually you're going to kind of fall behind.
But where the old way meets the new wave, whiskey hopes to stay on top. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, London.